Hello and welcome to Learn, Do, Become Radio. I'm April Perry and I'm here to help you out of the overwhelm. We help people who are overwhelmed by the details of life to create simple systems so they can do what matters most. I want you to feel excited when you wake up in the morning. I want you to feel content when you go to bed at night. And I want you to be able to do your most important work and just not feel overwhelmed by all this stuff. And it's not just physical decluttering, but it's mental decluttering, and it's learning how to process the things that come into our lives. So welcome. So glad you're here. Today, I'm going to ask you 15 to-the-point questions just to help you assess your current level of organization. And this isn't to be judgmental or to make anyone feel stressed out. It's just that when people ask me about what I do here at Learn, Do, Become, I find it's a lot easier to just walk through some of the examples of how humans handle pieces of paper and goals and projects and lists and just stuff. And then if the answer is always like, oh, I put it in a pile, then there's a better way to do it. It's called a Step Command Central, and it has changed my life. And so I have dedicated more than a decade of my life to teaching other people how to do the same. So that's why I'm here, and I'm so glad that you've joined me. So thank you. Okay, so when I say I'm going to ask you 15 questions, I know you might be thinking, April, why are you asking me so many questions? 15 is a big number. And I get it, but here's the thing. There are 15 parts of the Step Command Central, and the way that you know if you need one is by how you answer these questions. So I've talked before about how a Step Command Central is like a car. So you need all the parts of a car in order for it to get you where you want to go. And today it's just kind of an informal Command Central quiz. And I want to ask you, if this were a car, do you have a steering wheel? Do you have brakes? Do you have, 4 wheels? Do you have a place to sit? Is there an engine, right? You need all the parts. What typically happens is when I'm, either watching videos or listening to podcasts or reading books about organization is there are a lot of people out there sharing great ideas, but it's things like, oh, here's a great steering wheel cover, or here's a really cool back seat that folds in. And those are awesome, but unless you have a whole system, it doesn't really help you. And so I don't want you just constantly reading a bunch of books and trying to figure out how to get organized and then just feeling frustrated with yourself. I want you to build the basic framework, the system that's going to change your life. Then you can add more bells and whistles as you go. Okay, so let's just dive in. Question number 1. When you make a commitment to do something on a specific day, what do you do with that piece of information? So let's say you got your wedding ring repaired and it's going to be ready on Thursday. Or maybe you have a dentist appointment next Monday at 8 a.m. Do you keep those kinds of things in your head? Or do you write them on a sticky note? Or do you record them on your calendar, either as an appointment or a flexible task? Because that's where an optimal, mostly open calendar comes into play. A lot of people just keep most things in their head or kind of write things down, but then they're jumping around from thing to thing to thing and often missing appointments. So that's why the calendar is super helpful. Question number 2. If you need to call a friend of yours sometime this week to discuss a potential business collaboration, how do you remember to do it? Do you just keep it in your mind and plan to call next time you think of it? Do you set some kind of an alert on your phone and then hope when the alert pops up, you'll have the time and energy to call? Or do you write it on a context-based next actions list in the phone section so you can make the call when time opens up? And I'm not giving all the possible options. A lot of people will have just a, ongoing list they just keep adding to, but it includes phone calls and errands and everything all squished together. So having a next actions list in a phone section, game changer. Okay, and all of these questions are written down on the show notes page if you want to come to learndobecome.com/episode 197. All right, question number 3. How do you deal with all the emails that come into your inbox? Do you check your email often and then just let them slide down the inbox as new ones come in, going back to hunt for any necessary required actions? Do you leave emails unread or star them or use some kind of snooze feature to bring them back later? Or do you process them as you read them, using the 2-minute rule to respond, filing anything that's being kept for archive purposes, unsubscribing where appropriate, and moving things to the @ immediate action folder if they need a few minutes to respond, and then getting that folder to 0 once a week. And I know that's a very simplistic way to explain emails to 0, but it changed my life. When I learned that you could get emails to 0, I literally stayed up till 3 a.m. and I did it because I'd never seen an empty inbox. I think this was 2007. I think that was the first time. I had, 1,300 emails or something like that at the time. Now it's exploded. But back then, before email was... Anyway, okay, I will stop. Okay, question number 4. Where do you put random papers, mail flyers, receipts, etc. that come to you during the day? Do you stick them in piles all over the house and in your car and in your purse or briefcase? Do you put some things on the fridge with magnets or on a bulletin board so you won't forget them? Or do you manage anything time sensitive by adding tasks to the calendar where needed and then storing the paper digitally or in your support cubbies? And put things that can wait until your weekly review into your inbox and just quickly scan or file anything else using the 2-minute rule. So that's the idea, is that when you have all this random stuff, instead of just having a pile and saying, I'll deal with it later, or let me tape it up to the wall so I see it all, things are time sensitive or on the calendar, things that are, weekly, with a weekly review, goes in the inbox, and the 2-minute tasks you can just take care of quickly. Because with a step Command Central, you have specific landing spots where the physical items can be collected during the day, but they're not just all then thrown into the inbox. They are quickly processed and added later. Okay, question number 5. If you know you really need to think through an item and make an important decision on it sometime in the next week or so, where do you put that item? This is kind of building on question number 4. Do you put the item in the pile on your desk or taped to your computer or in a nice clean inbox that is processed to 0 once a week? This inbox, honestly, I just never thought of having one. My mom's inbox was her dresser and we would just throw everything on the dresser. But now, as I'm using my own inbox, like right now there's maybe 5 things in the inbox, and some of them are items, like I got these new earbuds Eric got for me, and I need to charge them and just figure out where I want to keep them. So they're just in the inbox right now because I don't need to deal with it the second, and it doesn't need to be added to my list, but I'll just process it during my weekly review. So something like just having an inbox, it's so good. Okay, question number 6. How do you know which projects you're working on this month? Do you work on 50 to 100 projects at the same time, depending on what you feel like doing and what's top of mind? Do you keep changing your focus because people keep handing you new things, or you keep getting new ideas? Or do you have a solid current projects list of 7 to 8 maximum projects divided into me, my family, and then beyond, which is work and volunteer activities? And I've spoken about the current projects list a lot on the podcast, so you can find more episodes on that if you need it. But current projects list, having that focus, it's huge. Question number 7. How do you remember what you need to do every day, week, month, year, etc.? Some examples like I want to exercise 3 days a week. I want to wash the car twice a month. I want to complete a data report each quarter. I want to get the tires rotated, every certain 1,000 miles, right? Okay, so do you type everything into an app and create repeating reminders? So every time you open your app, there are tons of red overdue dates because it's just so much stuff. Do you write everything down over and over on a daily to-do list and then hope you won't feel overwhelmed? Or do you have a solid routines list where you have all of your regular routines listed, ready to be reviewed once a week, with those you're working on set up as reminders that will come to you as appropriate? Because having some kind of reminders is great if you're trying to establish a habit. But putting every routine into some kind of an app or a system where you have to look at it all the time and always checking everything off, it typically, for me at least, became very overwhelming. I didn't want to open up my apps. So, okay, routines list for the win. Question number 8. Where do you put an item that's waiting for someone else to do something before you can move forward? So an example, you returned something that you purchased and you're waiting to make sure you got a refund. Do you just hope you'll remember? Do you leave the receipt on your desk or fridge or top of your pile so you can keep looking at it until the refund is set? Or do you put the receipt into a waiting folder, and it could be paper or digital, with a calendar trigger set up to remind you to follow up if needed? Just a simple idea just took another little piece of overwhelm out of my brain because I used to feel like I had to hold on to all the kinds of things like, oh yeah, I sent in this query, like I was trying to get published in magazines, back 2006, and I was sending out all these queries. And then I would just kind of keep in my head like, oh, I hope I get to hear back from them at some point. Where instead I could just put a little waiting list together of things I'm waiting for and then, follow up if needed. Okay, question number 9. How do you remember your goals? Do you just think about them in your head and hope they'll happen? Do you make a list of New Year's resolutions, but then lose that list somewhere in the pile? That was always me. Do you keep a central goal sheet with a system to review it regularly and create projects that will help you to get there? So that's just another fun part of the Command Central where you can have your goals. I keep mine mostly digital and in Evernote, and then I look at them at least once a week, but often multiple times a week. That just helps keep them top of mind. All right, question number 10. Where do you put magazines, catalogs, brochures, newsletters, etc., whether paper or digital? And I feel like I should pause after each question, or you just pause the podcast. But growing up, all this stuff, all these catalogs and brochures and things, literally we just had multiple piles everywhere. So question, do you leave them all over your home, office, car, bathroom, etc.? Do you keep them in a big pile, like one singular pile that just keeps getting bigger? Or do you put them in a read review basket or digital folder that's kept in a handy place and cleaned out periodically so everything in there is needed and current? That read review basket, again, for me, total game changer. Having one place to put things that, needed me to look at them before I, recycled them. All right, question number 11. What do you do with items that need to be filed? Some examples like your passport, tax forms, special keepsakes, manuals you want to keep, printed copies of insurance forms, etc. Do you stick them on your desk and maybe move them to the floor, keeping them in big, maybe even segmented piles? Do you put them in a to-file box that never gets filed? That was me. I had this drawer called my to-file pile. And I never filed, ever. And if I needed something, I would just dig through the drawer. It was fantastic. Or do you have a simple system where you can easily digitize or file anything that doesn't need to be kept as a physical copy? And for the paper system, do you have the Freedom Filer that easily manages all of the paper items you want to keep in a way that feels simple to maintain and basically cleans itself? I don't promote a ton of specific products like, I do use a Franklin planner. I've used one since I was 13. I love my Franklin planner. It's like one of my best friends. But I don't promote specific planners because really you can use the STEP system digitally or with any paper planner. Like it doesn't have to be a specific kind. But I will say for filing, freedomfiler.com. And for those people in our STEP program, they've given us a special coupon code where you can get a discount. It was awesome for me. Once I put that into place, I literally have not had a to-file pile in over a decade. Anyway, my friend Christine told me about it, and then I just used it, and it was amazing. And we even have a whole setup ebook inside the STEP program as well. So if you want to file with it, we've got you set up, or you can just go check out their website as well. Okay, question number 12. What if you have a bunch of papers, notes, manuals, and physical items that go along with a current project or a current routine? Examples. Let's say you teach a class to teenagers and you have a printed manual and special items you bring to the class and handouts and other printed resources you regularly use. Do you have them strewn all around your home and office so when it's time to use them, you have to go to 6 different places to gather what you need? That was how I was all growing up. Do you stick them in a pile in the entryway of your home so you can get them when you go to the class, but they end up covered with shoes and coats and other people's items? You're kind of trying to find a little spot for them, but they could get ruined. Or do you have a support cubby system organized by category where all of your resources can stay in one place and you can find them within seconds? And this applies to digital things as well. If you're working on a big digital project and you have tons of PDFs and pictures and all these things, are they all in one place? Or do you have to go looking in multiple places? Because that's what usually stops people from moving forward on projects is they have to gather all the materials and they're just everywhere. So by the time you spend 30 minutes gathering everything together, your work time is now done or you need a snack and you don't want to do it anymore. So support cubbies are amazing. Okay, question number 13. What if you need a specific piece of paper on a specific day in the future? For example, let's say you have a child with a special exam that requires a printed ticket, not a digital one. And you've already printed it, it's done, and the test is happening 2 months from now. Do you put it on the fridge with a magnet so you won't forget to take it with you? But it's also alongside 50 other things that you also don't want to forget. I mean, this is literally how I grew up, was just like stick it somewhere. But we wouldn't want to put it in the pile because it would get buried. So we would tape it or pin it or, put a magnet on it to keep it front and center. But when you have 50 things front and center, nothing's front and center, right? So the other option is, do you put it in the appropriate monthly folder of your tickler file and set a calendar trigger to remind you to take it with you the day of the appointment? That calendar trigger is really important because if you're checking your calendar every day and then you're on your way to the test and you see, oh, go to the tickler and get this paper, you just go grab it and take it with you. And you start feeling like you're magic. You feel like, oh my gosh. And then you get there and people are like, I didn't get mine printed. I don't have my ticket. And it's stressful, right? All right, question 14. Let's say you have an idea for something that you want to do someday. So examples like books you want to read, projects you'd like to complete, trips you want to take, movies you want to see, etc. Do you just hope you'll remember those things? Do you write the ideas down in a journal or book or digital note that you'll probably never look back and review? Or do you add it to your digital or paper someday list, which can be organized by category, like books, movies, trips, with calendar triggers for anything you want to make sure you review by a certain date? Like, let's say Eric and I want to go to Italy someday. It's like this dream of mine I've had since I was super little. But if that's on our someday list and we're kind of gathering ideas as we talk to people who've gone to Italy and we say, oh, where did you go? And what was it like? And which places did you visit that you loved? And, any recommendations? If I can gather all that information together in my someday list, and then maybe I make a calendar trigger for, 5 years from now and say, okay, if we haven't gone to Italy by now, maybe let's plan it. Because as we, get older and older, I don't want to never go on my dream trip. So we can save up for it and prepare for it, but I can have that little calendar trigger to remind me to make it a priority if at all possible. Okay, question number 15. What if you get an idea that you might want to pursue, but probably not? Okay. This is the same kind of things as like the someday items, like books and movies and stuff, but you're thinking, it's probably a no, but I don't know. Do you just throw it in the trash or forget about it because you probably won't need it, but then you kind of worry you missed an opportunity? Or do you set it in the pile just in case? Like, I don't know, I kind of might want that. Let me just set that down. Or do you put it in your incubation file? But you don't have to worry about it because you just discard everything in there a few times a year after a quick review. So it won't take up space if you don't end up needing it. The incubation has been amazing because there are so many things I'm just kind of on the fence about. Like, oh, these people could come and trim our trees. I don't know. Do I want them to trim our trees? Or I could get roof repair. Do we need a roof repair right now? You just kind of have stuff like that. And so when you get these ideas and you think, well, maybe, I don't know, probably not, but who knows, right? And that question, who knows? That is why we end up with digital and mental and physical clutter, because you never know if you might need something. And then we end up just living in really cluttered storage spaces, right? Okay, so you made it through the 15 questions. Now, whenever I've done this exercise with friends of mine, it's just fun to see their eyes light up as they realize not there's anything wrong with the way they're doing things, but they realize there's an easier way to handle the things they deal with on a day-to-day basis. And usually after we talk, they're thinking, okay, I want to build my Step Command Central. How do I get started? Like right now. I don't even want to wait until I get home. I want to get started right now. So when you don't know there are options besides the pile, right, or a filing cabinet, like usually it's just those two things that people are working with, then you start to feel this relief because it just feels so good not to have to live out of piles. And so when you know there's a simple Command Central that will manage every detail of your life in a totally easy way, why wouldn't you want to build one? And we have, there's lots of ways you can build one. Let me just tell you the options that we have for you. Okay. The best way is we have a program called Steps to Everyday Productivity. go to learndobecome.com/step program, all one word, step program. You can find out about it. You can join. It's just ready for you. Or on our website, you can go to learndobecome.com and you can search Step Command Central or Step in the little search bar. And we have lots of podcasts and articles and videos and resources for you. So you can enjoy and explore and learn a lot. I mean, we share a lot on our website. It's just if you come in the program, we give you step by step. We give you support. We have everything totally in order. Step Mastery is amazing because you get coaching. You have the Facebook group, which is fantastic. It's literally like the best people in the world. And you won't feel embarrassed if you have piles of stuff because everyone started out with piles of stuff. But we're not there to make anyone feel bad. We're there to just help everyone get relief. And that's why I love it so much. And then occasionally we do a 4 weeks to finish, but just make sure you're on our email list. Like come to learndobecome.com. There's a little picture of an email and you can click on that and join our weekly newsletter where we send you updates and support and before and after pictures and all this fun stuff. Okay. I'm so excited that you're here. I hope you can't wait to build a Step Command Central, and we will see you soon at learndobecome.com.